Hey guys, I'm holding the brand new iPhone 6 Plus out here, but trust me, this is not the usual review video as such. What I'm going to tell you today is some of the hidden settings or some of the hidden tips and tricks that you probably did not know about the iPhone 6 Plus, and I'll try to show you some of those. Now when I say you did not know, the important keyword here is probably. So of course it has it's been some days, the 6 Plus is out, it's been some days the iOS 8 is out. Now some of these tips and tricks could be of the hardware and some of the software. Some of them you might already know, you might not know any of these, you might know all of this, but even if because of this video you just learn one new tip and trick, I think my video would be, the purpose would be successful. Having said that, let's start with some of the hardware keys. Now the iPhone does not leave you much tweak about the hardware like your Androids and all. Mostly we have some keyboard codes which actually lets you see some statuses and do some of the other things. So let's check some of those. The first thing is star hash 06 hash, and it lets you see the IMEI number of the phone quickly. Then you have star 777 hash and then call key. This one will let you know what quick top up you can do over your current plans. So you see local SMS, 100 local SMS for 10 rupees and all those stuffs. The third one is star 646. I'm looking at my pen, letting you know because I always forget this code. So you have Airtel Live activated. Now I have Airtel running on this. I don't know if you have Vodafone or let's say Aircel running on this, if they will pop up or not. They should, because this generally pops up your service, your ISPs, service messages. So that's the third one. The fourth quick one is star hash 21 hash and then call, and it will show you all your call forward statuses. You can quickly say this, and then you can go to settings and change. You cannot change right from there, mind you. Last one, star hash 30 hash and call. Now it'll tell you whether your calling line presentation is enabled or disabled, this meaning the caller ID. So if it's enabled, that means I can see who's calling me. I can see the number. If that's disabled, meaning I cannot see. So those are some of the quick hardware tweaks, not big deal, but just a quick status check kind of stuff. Now we'll quickly go to the iOS 8. The iOS 8 came much before the iPhone 6 Plus, so this could not be a very new one. Lots of these things are in settings really. Now of course you know that with the 6 Plus came a feature called reachability, which actually makes it slightly easier for you to use this big phone, the user interface mainly. So you just double tap out here and this guy is gonna slide down so that you can tap the icons that are over here. Double tap again or tap somewhere to make it otherwise normal again. But you can also disable reachability from this settings. Like you go to settings and then this is the general settings basically. So go to settings and then general and then accessibility, and right here you have a reachability option. So once you switch that off, now your user interface not gonna slide down. This is typically for people who do not like this feature per se, or also for some people who actually find it just a bit difficult in these two modes of double tap on the home screen. One is double tap for the reachability, and then double tap here to bring out the recent app so that you can close that. So I find a lot of people who actually just out of excitement or just out of let's say when they do not have time or something, they just want to do something in a hurry, instead of just double tapping this, they just double tap that thing, or the other way around. So for them, disabling reachability could be a good thing. I personally like that feature on the iPhone 6 Plus, and it's a good thing. It adds to your experience, which is what I think. Number two thing is that now iOS 8 supports widgets. Well, not to the level of Androids, but you can just go ahead and tap edit, and you can see if an app qualifies to place a widget on notification screen, you can now include it. So once you include that, I can see you have Dropbox. So now Dropbox is gonna show some of my content out here. I can straight away go to Dropbox right from here. That's another thing. You can have your iPad or some of the other iOS devices to send and receive messages on behalf of your iPhone 6 Plus if this has your SIM slot. Now, for example, I have an iPad out here which is a Wi-Fi only, so obviously I cannot send text messages because it does not take a SIM, but I can actually let it send and receive text messages, and it will be sent and receive on behalf of my iPhone 6 Plus. So to do that, you need to go out here again. We'll go back to settings right here, and then we'll go out here, we'll go to messages, and then text message forwarding, and here you need to switch this on, and you can see I've switched on my iPad. The moment you switch this on, it will send a code from this number to your iPad, and you need to put that code in the message that appears here, so that this guy now knows that you own the iPad, much like one-time password kind of a thing. Once you do that, now whenever this guy receives a message something, then I get it here. So I can send a message directly from my iPad on behalf of my iPhone 6 Plus. Now I've already entered the number of my other phone. That's not this one, the other number. So I'm just gonna say, hi, how are you? And my iPad is Wi-Fi only, so it should not send the text message, but when I say this, it's gonna send the text there, and you can see here it's written text message. So it has sent a text message, and the other phone which receives it will receive it from the iPhone 6 Plus, because that's a typical message forwarding. It really helps when you typically let's say you forgot your iPhone 6 Plus at home, you just took your iPad and the other phone maybe, but you want to send the message here from this one, so that really helps out there. The iOS camera now lets you adjust the exposure settings a bit. Now whenever you tap somewhere, it's gonna focus that area, but you see this whenever you tap in that particular sun, you see this small scale, and now once you drag up or down the exposure, you can see it increases or decreases. This is really helpful if you're, let's say, taking a photo of a shadow area, wherever there's like shadow or dark around here. You can tap there, you can focus that part and then increase the exposure so that you can see out there. Otherwise the average metering might actually make the photo very dark if the surrounding is all light. For example, if you have a person standing in front of a beach, then actually the person it becomes very dark, because the phone or the camera actually takes an average metering. But if you tap that person and you can increase the exposure, you can actually bring the person's detail into light. With some of the accessibility features, you can actually now make your phone grayscale. Now I don't know if that would be any interest for you, but when you go to generally go to accessibility, you can now make your phone grayscale. Maybe if you like black and white pictures, or just to save battery power, because in color reproducing, the display loses a lot of battery power. So once you have your grayscale, that it actually helps saving the battery power up to a large extent. But note that this is not the same as the ultra power saving mode in some of the Android devices, where grayscale is just a feature of the ultra power saving mode. It also does many things in the background. Here you're just letting the color go, just making it grayscale, but still it helps saving your battery. Now you can send your current location to the one you're chatting or you're messaging. Let's say you're in a talk with your friend, much like what you can do with the WhatsApp. You do not need WhatsApp to do that anymore. So you can just go to detail and you can send them your current location from here, and then it will actually send him your current location. We had to depend on WhatsApp and some of the other chatting apps till now, but now the iOS default messaging app supports it. You see, it's already went. Another cool tip again, if you go to detail, then you can mute this person specifically. So you do not need to mute all of them, all the person that you've been messaging with. But let's say someone is harassing you, some marketing message, those stuff, you can just go, you can say do not disturb, and it's going to mute that particular conversation. So guys, those are some of the very quick tips and tricks and hidden feature that I've come across in the hardware as well as with the iOS 8, and I trust it might help you in some way or the other. Even if one tips actually becomes beneficial for you, I think the purpose is solved. My purpose is not to give you all of the feature that you cannot or let's say that you haven't known yet, because that's not possible in this age of information. But I've just tried to show you some of the cool quick tips and tricks that can make your life a whole lot easier with the new iPhone 6 Plus. Thank you.